right?
Well, that's exactly what happened. And
Mm,
let's just say it took a screeching halt from that point.
yeah, yeah.
My creative journey, I think adult life hit me, and anxiety hit me, and imposter syndrome hit me,
Mm,
and I didn't know how to handle rejection very well.
mm,
I wasn't getting in where I thought I would be getting in and where I was going to go, and I didn't really know how to handle myself as an adult.
yeah,
So, because I'd been focusing on doing well and doing these performances and getting a diploma of performing arts from the Trinity School of London,
yeah,
which I'd achieved around about the same time I went to the Globe.
yeah.
So I'd done all these like really, really hyper focused activities in creativity, and then adult life came, and
Mm,
and it came at me hard and fast.
yeah,
And so there's about a period of about 10 years where I did nothing.
yeah. It just
Yeah,
like it just stopped. I mean, was
stopped.
it the idea was because this is a really interesting thing for me to unpack because it was the original hope and the idea was like, wow, I've worked here, I've worked on this show, I did all this stuff. Now just offers and all of these things are going to start rolling in.
Yeah.
Was it that concept or what was it the thought that that might happen for you or no?
Yeah, I think I applied for like I didn't really know if I wanted to be a director or if I wanted to be an actor. So I
Mm,
applied for a really prestigious acting school in Wellington, and
right.
I'd been shortlisted, but I didn't make it. And that didn't make it
Yeah.
really hit me for a loop. I had in
Wow.
my brain imagined what it would be like. I'd worked all these years towards getting into this school,
Mm,
and getting rejected and having the program manager saying you're great but come back when you're older, which
mm,
is basically saying come back when you're ready to handle your emotions, because I was crying on auditions, I was kind of all over the place.
wow.
I,
Yeah.
I really needed life. I look back now and realize I needed life experience to
Mm.
put into my creativity. I
Do you,
couldn't. Yeah.
do you think that part of it was with the and this is nothing negative about the training or anything like that. Was it just that you had not experienced you just hadn't experienced that rejection in any of your
No,
training? All it had just
never.
been like it was just like a series of like yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And this is nothing against my teachers or auditioners, people who auditioned me, but I always got the part I always wanted.
Yeah.
Or if I got chorus, I was happy to be chorus because I was in the play at least, or I was in the theatre at least. I did quite a large few national shows. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and
Yeah.
I'd done quite a large amount of theatre pieces. So I had just kept getting success after success after success, and I'd never really been knocked back.
Yeah.
And it was a big knockback for me.
Mm.
It really hurt my ego and my pride big
Wow.
time. And it just took me out. I couldn't handle being told that no, you're not good enough. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? So yeah, and it took me a long, long time to kind of grow a skin and
Yeah.
be brave again
Yeah.
to try again. And to be honest with you, it wasn't until I'd had my daughter
Mm.
who has autism, it's quite severe autism, and I realized I needed to achieve a dream to achieve for a family. I needed to push drive. If she can be brave, I can be brave. And so about 6 years ago, I went back to school, and I started off with a diploma of digital film, and then I went into do a Bachelor of Screen Arts, and I just dived straight in. And let me tell you, that was life changing.
Really.
I mean, I'd done a few like theatre shows up until that point, and I dabbled a little bit in short films and 48-hour film festivals and things, but nothing to the extent of how I live my life now.
Wow. I mean,
Mm.
and was it a little bit scary, like especially like when you're going in and you're looking around, and I think, it's a moment of just going, were you surrounded by a lot of people that were younger than you as you were
Oh
going?
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. I walked in. I was a married mother, and there were these 19-year-old men, 18, 20-year-old men studying film, and I was the only woman plus an older woman. So I'm 35 now. So I was like 32 when I started my degree. And they looked at me like I had grown horns. They just thought I was the weirdest thing they'd ever seen. What are you doing back at school? And they just, yeah, it was very, very strange.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
I think it's so amazing. Like it's so interesting. This is the thing that I want. people to hear that get timid about. I'm a huge proponent of like, yes, get married, have kids, all that stuff, because something happens when we have children. Like
Mm.
something happens where you go, yeah, this isn't about me anymore. Like I remember having that earlier in my career where I went, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be the example to my children, or trying to carve out a path or a way for them. Not that they're not going to have their own difficulties to navigate stuff, but I need to be at least leading by example or helping out. Same situation as you, Jacqui, where I've got, son with autism, where there's such major challenges. And I don't know, there's something that happens when we get thrown adversity. Isn't it interesting? And I'm sure that you saw this with the young guys that you saw as you went back to school. And Paul, I know that you've experienced this too. I've had so many times where I look back at people that are younger, that are just starting out in their stuff. There's nothing, there's nothing I can't stand more than seeing, somebody that's 22 just going, wow, I'm so old right now. Or, oh, I'm so beat.
Yeah.
Oh, I just can't get my stuff done. And you just go, shut up. You have no idea, right? I mean, it's Paul, man, you've experienced this, right? Like you just kind of go, you just have to dig down into the deepest part of you and say, yes, I'm exhausted. My kid threw up last night. I'm working off of 2.5 hours of sleep, and I've got to get this done. Let's go. Right. You
Yeah.
know?
And I'm not even getting paid for this. So, or I'm paying to do this.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
crazy. And just to touch on like the life experience thing, I remember when the movie version of Glengarry Glen Ross came out. I was watching the behind the scenes special features, and Jack Lemmon. This came out when I was one of those 19 or 20-year-old kids, and Jack Lemmon said something like, the role that he played in the movie was a role he wouldn't imagine a young kid playing on stage, because you have to bring so much of your life experience to those older characters. And he said, I'm reaching an age now where I'm finding the richest characters I've ever read for in my life, because there's so much life experience there, and there's so much story behind each character that, like, sometimes you got to be patient. And that really struck me even back then. And I was just like, wow, I can't wait till I'm that old and I can play those really cool characters.
Yeah.
But then, you go, okay, but wait, that'll be there. I look forward to that what someday down the line when it comes. And even my wife, Jamie, she's experiencing that now. She's dreaming about going back to Broadway after she retires from the police department, and because of all the beautiful older women roles on stage. And it's something that she's looking forward to once she finishes her second career, which has been law enforcement, after her first career, which was Broadway. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. It's a thing about just like striving and creating. And I think that there's something that's deep inside. And Jacqui, I'm so glad that you found that again for yourself, because it's one thing to be like batted down, to go, I'm out of here.
Mhm.
What am I going to do? I mean, I was joking with Jacqui before we started the show. I mean, I remember clearly, I thought that my career was going to go a completely different route. I really did. I was convinced that I was going to be a major sitcom actor, that I was going to be on all of this stuff. And yes, I'd gotten into some major national commercials and stuff here in the States. But I remember clearly, man, I had this moment. It was like in the middle of the afternoon. And I just remember I had just come out. I was like standing in my house, just like in my underwear, just like weeping, just like going, none of this is working out the way I want to. And for me, it was like, I remember that clearly, because it was literally my prayer at that moment of just going, God, I have no idea. I have no idea what this is. I'm giving all of this up to you, because I don't know. Like, I can't control, like, there's so much of this that I can't control. So much that I thought if I do this, it should all work out that way. Right. I mean, I have had ongoing jokes I've had ongoing jokes that have been in my extended family of just going, Yeah, Kevin, you're kind of like the story of Job. You're kind of like the guy that like you've done everything right, and then it feels like things fall apart along the way. And then you just go, but the fact is, it's like, to what Paul's point is, or the other stuff, like, I know that there are experiences that I've gone through, heartbreak, disappointment, stuff that has been like head shakingly. I've just seen other people like catapult by me. And all of that, I'm so grateful for all of the experiences that I've had, because it gives me such appreciation for when those victories happen. And I've also discovered a version of strength and silent serenity that comes in those moments when curveballs come my way. There is something that's happened with me, especially over the last several years. If I get a major crisis that comes out of left field and tries to hit me, there is now a moment of me just going very still and very quiet and going, okay, let's assess this and let's figure out how to do it. Whereas 10 or 15 years ago, I would be the guy screaming, crying, spinning out, going, this is it. Why me? It's the end of the world. And I think we have these experiences that come at us that strengthen us and that develop our character. And that's so hard as a creative, because we're continually putting our heart out, right? We're putting our stuff out on the line. And to your point, Jacqui, it's hard when you're putting out like, this is who I am. And somebody says, no, I don't want it. And just like, oh, so.
Yeah. I mean, if I had had any success after that, it just would have been bad. I don't think I was equipped to handle it. I don't think my mental health was strong enough. I just would have spiraled out of control personally.
Yeah.
I needed that reality of the world to teach me, to train me, to give me empathy, to give me understanding of how not to let anxiety drive the car, to let it sit in the car and go, you exist, but you're not letting you drive it anymore. You can put your seatbelt on. We can all, depression's next to you. You say hi to them. Over there's a little bit of, another undiagnosed, mental illness. We'll approach that one later, but I'm driving the car now. I'm the one in charge.
Right.
So, and for a long time, anxiety drove the bus, and I was dangling off the back of it with, an old ball and chain. So, it took a long time and a slow process of me going, no, I have a unique voice, I have a talent, I am creative. And because that 10-year period of when I wasn't doing anything, I was so upset that I wasn't doing anything. And I felt like the biggest loser you'd ever met in your whole entire life, because I hadn't taken something that people had told me my whole entire life, that I was talented and creative and had, that's so different and innovative and imaginative. Would never have thought anything like that, Jacqui. Look how great and amazing you are. To then not doing anything with it and thinking I was just the losers of losers. So to go, no, I'm not a loser. I actually am somebody who's worth something. I am somebody who can do this, and I am, a mother who can dig in. And I lived 40 minutes away from school, so it was like, get up really early and get in and spend the day away from my kid and put my family whole under pressure, because this will be worth it. This is something I want to do, and I feel so much better for having done it.